All right, this is going to be an in-depth tutorial video on GoHighLevel. It's going to be the most recent and up-to-date overview on how to use the software based on my experience of 6 years of using this software. I started using it back in 2019 when I was running my gym full-time, and then a year later as a marketing agency owner helping other gym owners with their business. And now I help a lot of online coaches like my client Kim, who helps people learn how to flip real estate, automate their business, streamline their lead gen, and save a lot of money. Like she's saving over $400 by switching from MailChimp, Calendly, ClickFunnels, all of that stuff to high level. And now she's saving $400 a month and has a way easier process because everything's in one place. We're going to dive in to all of that. I'm going to show you how to use this if you're a local business owner, if you're an online coach, if you're a marketing agency owner. I'm going to dive into every dynamic that you need to know. If you use my link to sign up with High Level, I've got thousands of dollars worth of bonuses, snapshots I've created over the 6 years of using this thing that you can get for free if you use my link to sign up with Go High Level. All right, first of all, let's take a look at pricing. How much does this thing cost? More importantly, how much is it going to save you depending on your situation, right? If you're existing business owner, you're using a lot of different products already, then you'll be able to save money actually. Like my client Kim, she was using a website builder like Square. She was using ClickFunnels. She was using a form software. I forget which one. That was another 49. Email marketing. She was using MailChimp, which was costing a lot of money because she has like 8,000 people on her email list. And, MailChimp charges based on the volume you send. High Level is saving her a lot of money there. And then if you're using like an SMS marketing, like Scipio or something like that, or Calendly, right? All of these different softwares. I mean, to me, it's just a headache of trying to duct tape everything together. And how do you get it to communicate? So that's just a pain in the butt. Like this is one of my favorite, getting rid of DocuSign, $50 a month, things like $50, saving money on that as well. So roughly most people save a few $100. The two plans are $97. This is probably good enough for most people because you get like three sub accounts. And unless you're a marketing agency, you don't really need anything other than that, unless you have multiple businesses. But this gives you access to everything in the software. Okay. And then the 297 plan basically gives you API access so you can like integrate with Zapier into other like CRMs. If you're like a gym owner and you use, or a dentist, like those are people that I've worked with that have like a main CRM for their patients, for their clients, and then they can connect it to High Level as well. And then on this plan, you get unlimited sub accounts. So you can have 1,000 if you want. The third option, which they don't show here, is $497 a month. And that's for like a marketing agency owner because the benefits there, a lot other things is rebilling. That's my favorite part is you can rebill on SMS messages. Your client gets billed $300 a month. You can mark up $100 so you can get paid $100 a month on their SMS fees. So that's only available under the $497 a month plan, as well as a whole bunch of other automations when you're like setting up your SaaS business. But for most people, $97 a month is great. You'll see the link down below to get a free trial. And honestly, the best way to learn is just to take the 2 weeks and just fiddle around with it yourself. The best way of learning is actually rolling up your sleeves, getting in here and doing the stuff I'm going to cover, because you're not going to learn a ton. Your brain's not going to comprehend or retain the stuff I'm about to show you. All right, the first thing that you're going to notice when you log in and you create your own account is you're going to have what's called an agency level view of your dashboard and then the sub account level of your dashboard, right? This is the agency view, which will have a set of settings here on the left-hand side. When you log into your sub account, which will be your business, that you'll have a list of all the sub accounts that you have here. Okay, so this would be like if you're running your own local business, your online coaching business, you would log in by clicking that one here, but you can toggle between your businesses. That's how you got to think about it. This is your overview agency level, and you can log in to your individual account just by clicking this here. But you'll also be able to see your sub accounts. So you can manage all of your sub accounts right here. If you click sub accounts, you can manage their settings by clicking the three little dots. You can go to manage client and you can go into their details and see like what's the rebilling set up to. Are you billing 2 times the amount? All right. All of those fun settings are on this level. And this is more for the agency owner that has clients that you're managing. If you want to add a new account under your agency, you can go ahead and just create a new sub account. If you have a snapshot that you want to load into your sub account, you would choose one of these, or you can take one of your imported snapshots. Like if you use my link to sign up, I'll send you a link and that will give you one of my snapshots and that'll show up here as an imported snapshot. And then you would just click that to select and continue. And that's how you would create your sub account either for your own business or for a client. One more thing, as an agency owner, if you want to set up your own pricing and automated funnels and all of that, you would use the SaaS configurator. And this is where you would create your own plans and all that fun stuff. But the main part of this video is not about this. We're going to show you how to use it for yourself. So to do that, you're going to go and click your sub account. We're going to dive right in. You want to start here under Launchpad. Okay, this is going to give you a basic setup, a series of tasks that you need to do to set it up, right? So these are all green check marks because I've already done it, but you can download the mobile app. This will allow you to see your conversations on your phone. Selecting this will help you set up your Google business profile, integrate it to your local business. I don't have this set up with my online business, but if you own a local business, this is absolutely essential so you can manage reviews and keep your reputation high. And then connecting Facebook, obviously super important to connect if you're running ads, lead ads, all of that will integrate directly to GoHighLevel. This is a web chat functionality, which I'll show you here later on, but this basically puts a little chat bubble on the bottom of your website and allows you to collect leads from your website, which most people, it's low hanging fruit that most people aren't implementing. They're not using. People just go to your website and then they leave. Okay. But when you have this little chat widget, now you can start generating leads from that traffic. Okay. You can connect your WhatsApp, connect Stripe, WordPress, all of that fun stuff. Follow that will help you get started quickly. The next thing you're going to see is your dashboard. If you're a numbers guy and you like to see all of the stages in your pipeline, which we're also going to cover pipelines here, then you'll have a snapshot of what's going on, how many people are in your funnel. You can choose between different funnels if you have those created. And I honestly don't use it a ton, but you can set it up. You can customize it as you see fit. All right, so let's talk about one of the most important use cases of GoHighLevel, which is generating leads, capturing leads, and nurturing those leads, right? Building a relationship with those leads. I'm going to cover all of the different ways you can capture leads using GoHighLevel right now. All right, so the first place is like a lead magnet funnel. I'm just doing this real time, so I'm going to just pull up one of these random opt-in pages, right? That's not the one I want to show you. I'll show you one that I'm actually using. There we go. So this is a funnel technically, right? So this would replace ClickFunnels. And it's a basic opt-in page because you need to be collecting emails, right? So this would be for like an online coaching business. And within this funnel, you can create the whole thing, headline, put the video, have a hook, and then this is a form. So I'll show you forms here in a second, but when they fill out this form, this is a separate part that is added into the funnel. Name, email, phone number. They click the button, watch the free training. Now you have a new contact and you have their name, email, phone number. You could email them, you could text them on a consistent basis, which is the foundation of marketing, right? You need to be building a list of phone numbers and emails and not just relying on social media because social media could always get shut down, right? You own your list when you have emails and phone numbers. So this is a basic opt-in lead magnet type of funnel. After they opt in, they will be sent here to watch the free training. And by the way, this is one of the snapshots that's already pre-built for you. When you use my link, you'll just obviously need to use your own videos unless you want to promote my stuff. I'm cool with it. So this is what happens. This is the flow. They put their info in, they fill out the form. And then for me, I'd use a video and then a simple book a call calendar, right? So as you can see, this calendar looks like a Calendly or anything like that. Same functionality, but it's all native to GoHighLevel. It's all in one place, right? Now you're not having to string things together. It's all connected. So people can book a call. And I'll show you more in depth of the calendar here coming soon. But you can attach a application type of questions, another form you can attach to your calendar, which is also really cool because this helps qualify your leads. You want to ask them questions, you know who you're talking to. That way, a bunch of random people aren't booking a call with you. And if they don't meet your qualification standards, you can just cancel the meeting. So, this is the main way I capture leads. I put this on my Facebook profile. I put the link to this on my Instagram bio. I put the link to this in my YouTube description. I put this everywhere. I call it a pre-sale via sale funnel because it pre-sales people on who you are and what you do and how you help people. You would use this for your local business offer because a good short video, no matter what type of business you run, is going to help people understand what you do. It's going to sell them on who you are and how you can help them specifically. And for me personally, I'm a little complicated, so I just clone this funnel for each social media channel. So I know who's coming from Facebook, who's coming from Instagram, who's coming from YouTube. All right, so let me show you real quick on how to actually build that form. Okay, you're going to go to Forms, you're going to go to Builder, and then you're going to create a form here. As you can see, I have a form for each social media channel. Let's just go check this one out. All right, it's pretty straightforward. You can drag and drop. I want to capture their name. I want to capture their email and their phone number. Maybe you just want email. You just drag and drop. Super simple. Click save. Make sure you save it. And then you're going to go back to your funnel builder. All right, so you're going to go back to your funnel builder. You're going to click edit. That's going to load. And then this is where you would add your form, right? So you can drag and drop. You can create sections. It's super simple. I don't want to mess mine up, but let's say you wanted to go ahead and add an element. You'd click that, and then you would type on form. Form's right there. And then you just select the form that you just chose, right? So this is a different form, first name, email, boom, then just click publish. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to mess up my funnel. So that is how you do it. You can also create split test versions, right? Create a variation. Another cool thing you can do is import, like let's say you have a funnel from ClickFunnels that you own. You can literally create or import it just by putting the URL in there, and it'll copy everything from your ClickFunnels funnel into here. So if you're transitioning, this makes it super simple. So the only other thing you need to do to make sure your funnel is live is make sure your domain is selected. Okay. And if you need to add your domain, you just follow the instructions here. Just click add and edit domains. And this will take you to the settings functionality, and it'll show you how to load in your domain. So you just go to click connect to domain, right? And then you can, if you have it on WordPress, you can import it from WordPress, right? So makes it super easy. And there's a bunch of little help functions. I'm not going to go too in depth on this right now. So funnels is the main way I collect leads. The other way you can do it is like on your website, you can have this little chat widget, right? You would just go to your website, funnel settings, go to chat widget, and then select the chat widget. Boom. And what that's going to do is going to put that little chat bubble right there. Okay. And you can connect conversational AI, which GoHighLevel has that built in. So the AI can actually have a conversation with your people. So this is huge, especially if you have a website, a local website, or any kind of website that's just generating a ton of traffic, but you have no way of capturing leads, or you want to add in another way to capture leads. You would just set up this chat widget. So how you do that is you're going to go over to chat widget, all right? Click new. There's different options you can use. If you want to use WhatsApp, live chat, SMS and email, right? Or all in one. Okay, you can select that. And then you can select your different chat types, what options you want to have in there. You can change the styles, what it looks like, what's the welcome message. And then you just click save, boom. And then the end product is going to look something like this. So this is another great way to collect leads, to get leads into your GoHighLevel CRM. So those were funnels. You could also use websites. Like if you have a multi-page type of website, you can create that in here, or you could import it from Squarespace, WordPress, whatever, into GoHighLevel. So once again, everything's in one place. Or you can create a brand new website from templates. They have a ton of templates you can choose from to get you started, right? Like they're pretty decent looking as well. So it gives you a good foundation where you can literally just click continue. And now you have your own freaking website in just a few clicks, change out some of the stuff, or it just gives you a foundation you can edit from as well. So this saves you a lot of time and money. They have a lot of options depending on, your niche, what you do. As you can see, beauty, fashion, consulting, creative, e-commerce, lots of cool stuff there. High Level's always adding stuff. I don't use the majority of this, and I'm not going to show you everything. I'm just going to show you like the bare essentials of what you need that 90% of the world will actually use. All of this other stuff like webinars, I didn't even know they did this. This is something new. I haven't even looked into it. So they're always updating and adding new features. Another cool way to collect leads is literally by selling your digital product or your digital course through a funnel, because this integrates with Stripe, it integrates with PayPal, Price.net, etc. This is what it would look like. So this is one of my funnels. Like, hey, it's $47 if you want to get it now. You can get it. They put in their name, email, boom, and then they purchase. This would be like a one-step order form where they just buy the thing. And then now that creates a contact. Now you have their email and you can market to them as long as you want. Here's another funnel I build. It's like a weekly webinar, weekly workshop type thing I do. And would be here to demonstrate a two-step order form, right? So the benefit here is they can put in their name, email, phone number before they buy. So this will create a contact, because there's always a percentage of people that are going to put their information in, but they're not going to buy. So now you can trigger a whole host of automations like follow-up sequences to get them to buy. Like, hey, saw you went to go register for my workshop, but you didn't finish. I totally understand. Life happens. Here's the link to get started again if you still want to join us on Friday. So this is an amazing way to do it. I actually prefer it over the one-step order form. You'll just get more traction, more leads that way. Okay, and just to show you what that looks like on the inside, you're going to go to edit, and depending where you are, right, we have the button that is going to button actions down here. It's going to open the pop-up, which the pop-up is right here. If you go to click pop-up settings, and then right here, this is a two-step order form, right? So if you just go to add an element and you type in order, once again, I'm going fast and some of this stuff may not even resonate or register, but you just got to get in here and do it. So one-step order form, which is what I showed you before this, or you have a two-step order form. So that is where you would add it. Make sure you save right here and publish always. And then always make sure when you're building funnels, you check your mobile to make sure it looks good. Because sometimes it's all clunky and you got to make sure like the font size is good on mobile, right? So you have your desktop version, but then you have your mobile version. You want to make sure you edit these. Usually you want to shrink down the size so that it's not all huge, and it actually looks good on cell phone, which is where most people are going to see your stuff. If you're wondering what all these custom values are, that's another YouTube video for another time. This is a fun way to do evergreen weekly workshops. Just comment below if you want me to do a video on that. Okay, so that's the way you can capture leads from a low ticket product or a free workshop or something like that. From the order form. The next way you can capture leads is from your social media. Right? So from Facebook and Instagram, you ever see those DM me the word freedom and I'll send you over my free training? That's like what I do. High Level will act, maybe you're familiar with ManyChat. If so, High Level replaces ManyChat. I have a video on that as well. But basically, you're going to go to settings and you want to make sure that you connect your social media, which would be under integrations. So here you can connect your Google Calendar, your GMB, all that fun stuff. But right here, this is what I'm talking about, is your Facebook and your Instagram. So now you can automate the DMs. I have a whole video on this, but I'll briefly show you how it works. So there's two ways to do it, and we'll cover automations here in a little bit. But you can do it through comment, like, hey, comment the word, let's say you're creating a post on Facebook or Instagram, comment the word freedom, or DM me the word freedom. You can set up an automation, which is really cool. I have an in-depth video on this, so I won't cover it all right now, but let's look at this one. So there's a trigger where the customer or the prospect, whatever you want to call them, DM'd you the word grow. You set it up where it matches the word grow, and then it automatically sends them a DM, right? And then if they drop their email, it will also capture their email and pull their email into go high level and store that as a contact. So now you're collecting emails through social media and you're creating contacts all through social media DMs. And the last main way I collect leads is from ads, right? So if you run Facebook lead ads, you can connect the form, which is also in integrations. You would just go to settings, Facebook forms, field mapping, right? So let's say you launch an ad on Facebook and everything's connected, it's integrated, it'll show up here. And all you got to do is map fields and then click first name. Well, this one is a DM ad, so that wouldn't make sense. Let's see if one of these are all chat ads. So, but normally it'll match the fields to your Facebook lead form, and then you would just match that first name, and then click confirm. Boom. Then now anytime a lead comes in, you would set up an automation to text them, have a basic 7-day sequence to text them to get them to come back and watch your training, whatever the objective is from your ad, right? Or book a call. You could also use TikTok. So Facebook, Instagram ads, and TikTok, and then LinkedIn as well. Any type of forms you can match there. And that's pretty much the last way I use to pull leads into your GoHighLevel CRM. All right, let's talk about Conversations tab right here. This is the one place that will host all of your conversations. So the cool thing is with High Level is you can connect your Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, email. This will show you the conversation thread that you're having, whether it's through IG or email or text message. Let me see if I can find one. But these are all Instagram. Like it'll show the icon there to give you an idea of the conversation that it is. And then if that contact gave you their email, like I said, if this person dropped their email, like in one of my automations, I have it say, hey, DM me the word freedom. And then they DM me the word freedom. And then the next automation will say, hey, cool, what's a good email? And I'll send it over. They'll drop their email and High Level will automatically pull that into their contact. So pretty cool stuff, pretty simple. Once again, that's part of the automations that I have set up for you. That is free when you use my link to sign up with High Level. So within the Conversations tab, you'll be able to see the latest means of communication, like if it's email or WhatsApp or SMS, you can choose each one of those there. You can type the message and send it. You can insert emojis, request payments. If you're like a local business owner, you can just boom, request a payment. All right. And you can see all of their contact information. If they request not to be contacted, you can select DND and just turn it on for everything, or if just text messages, you can turn it on. And if you want to open their contact in a new tab here, this will give you some more in-depth information on that specific contact. Like this is one of my favorite things is the attribution, which is what you would see right here under activity. I can see, okay, on March 10th, let's see, go back all the way. You can go back all the way to whenever they first interacted with you. Okay, this guy's clicked on one of my webinars in 2023, May 10th, right, all the way up to 2025 when they actually booked a call with me at 3:45 p.m. using this link, right? So it gets super accurate. You get to know exactly the client journey that they took to find you. And it's really good information to have to make decisions from, right? Anytime you have more data, you can make better decisions. On the left-hand side, you'll be able to see all of the tags that are associated with this lead, right? Tags are an organizing element to help you understand who that person is, right? So everybody that comes into my webinar funnel, I tag them with webinar or a certain type of lead, right? You can organize this as you see fit. You can see what automations they have gone through or what automation they are currently on. Opportunities, you can see what pipeline they are in. An opportunity is a pipeline, and a pipeline is something I'll cover here in just a second. It's just a journey. You can track their sales pipeline, right? From cold to sold. You can track the entire journey to keep you organized. And then over here on the right-hand side, the main one I use is notes, right? If I'm on a call, I am taking notes and I'm going to save that here in the notes tab so that I can properly follow up down the road. Tasks, if you have any like tasks you want to remind yourself with, you can add that to the prospect here. And then you'll also be able to see what appointments you have scheduled or have had already go through. And then documents, this is like if they're a client and they signed one of your DocuSigns, and that will be right here. And then under payments, you'll be able to see any type of payments that they've paid you. This guy jumped on one of my low ticket webinars, which is a $7 webinar there. So that is what you will find under the contacts tab is, yeah, we can just dive into contacts right here. The main thing you want to use is smart list. A smart list is just another category, right? So I have, for example, a smart list of everybody that has an email, right? Because I don't want to try to send emails to people on my list that don't actually have an email. That's going to mess things up. Everybody that has an email is now under what is called a smart list. Or let's say you want to segregate your list. You have agency owners, you have different types of people. You can segregate your list with tags, right? So you can go to filters. You can say, hey, the tag is not, the tag is, whatever it is that makes sense for you. No email. Make sure the email is not empty. Make sure the DND is not off for email, right? That's my email list, smart list. Or agency owners only, right? I have certain tags, boom. And hopefully you get the point. You mainly use tags to create your smart list, but you can do them in a lot of other different areas as well. All right, next let's talk about opportunities. These are your pipelines. You can toggle here and see all the different pipelines you have. You can create a pipeline by coming over here. And a pipeline is simply tracking your sales process. Where is your lead in the process of cold to sold, right? Are they a lead? Did they click your lead magnet? Or did they have a phone call? Where are they in your process? So obviously you want to set this up according to how you sell. So this is add an opportunity. So if you want to add someone to the pipeline, you can do that here. Okay. But if you want to create a pipeline, you're going to go up here to pipelines and then create a new pipeline. Click that button. You would add the stage name. So if they're a lead, if I can spell correctly, okay, booked call, right? You get the point there. And then this is how it works. You can drag the cards wherever they need to be, right? So this person would go here, speed and lead. That means we're calling them 3 times. Called once, didn't answer. Called twice, didn't answer, right? Appointment scheduled. You can drag them. That way you're not getting confused as to where they are. You're not letting leads slip through the cracks. This is huge. You can set this up for like your Instagram, right? Anybody that clicks your lead magnet or opts into your lead magnet. So the possibilities are endless for keeping track of your sales. All right, next let's talk about the payments tab here. You can collect payments right from GoHighLevel now, right? So the first thing you want to do is go to integrations and connect whatever payment processor you use. I'll use Stripe. You can use PayPal, Authorize, Square. There's other options as well. You can search for more, but you can create invoices, which is nice. If you have like a one-off invoice or a reoccurring invoice, you send to your clients, maybe your home services company, local business, you want to create some sort of invoice, you can do that, right? I used it for a short-term rental I created for my Airbnb in Austin, right? So you can create something like that. And then documents and contracts, you can create a contract for your coaching business, for your agency, whatever type of agreement. This is great because it replaces DocuSign, right? This is like an example. Boom, super simple. And now you don't have to pay for DocuSign, and this would get sent. I have this like automated attached to my sign up form. So whenever anyone signs up, they get sent this agreement. They sign it online just like they would a DocuSign. You can set up e-commerce stuff, right? You can set up orders and payment links, right? You can send individual payment links to people. You can see all of your transactions, all the products that you create. You can create all of the different price points and all of that in here. So you can go ahead and create a product. It's like, here's a workshop. Let me create a workshop product with multiple price points. You can create different price points here, right? $7, $100. Test things out, right? This is your little sandbox of play. Always testing things. That's how I view it. Test things out, test different prices, test different funnels, find what works, and scale it. All right. So that's your payments tab. That's what that's for. Let's move on to marketing. Okay. This is your social planner. You can connect your Facebook and Instagram here or other social media, your GMB, your Google business profile, TikTok, YouTube. And it kind of works like Hootsuite if you're familiar with Hootsuite, where you can just plan out schedule posts, which is fun. So you can do that all here and then schedule it out to get released. I really don't use all this other stuff. Brand boards, ad manager. I guess you can launch ads from the ad manager if you'd like. That's a little bit extra, but I have not looked into it. But apparently it makes it easier. But I've just been running ads for so long, so I personally don't use it. I just use Meta's ads manager. But you can also create an affiliate program. So let's say you run an agency, you run a coaching program, and you want to create an affiliate program for your business. You can do all of that here, set up links. Once again, I've never used that either, but trigger links I have used. So you can set up a link in here and this will like analyze, and you can create automations based off someone clicks your link. So like if someone clicks your product link and they don't buy, you can set up a bunch of follow-up automations. The main thing I use every day, mostly every day, at least 4 times a week, is sending emails. So let's show you how to do that now. Emails, go to campaigns, and you can set up templates if you'd like. Blank template. I use plain text editor. Right, that's how I write my emails. All the graphics and all of the fancy stuff is just slows down your emails, and sometimes they even get triggered as spam. Okay, so I won't mess with the templates, but you can look at statistics, see all of the stats, right? But let's just show you how to write an email, right? Let's go in, email campaigns, select new, select blank or one of your templates. They do have fancy templates in there as well that you can use if you'd like for your newsletter or something like that, which you would use like Design Editor. I use plain text, keep it simple. So you would create your email here, you would name it, go to send or schedule, put your email in here. So this is a subdomain I use, right? So this is important. I'm going to go over this in just a second, but this will, if you've ever struggled with open rates or your emails going to spam, this is something you got to do to set up email. I'll show you how to set it up, but let's just say this is the email that I'm sending from. You would put your name here, the subject line of the email, and then this is where you send to your smart list, right? So you select smart list, select the plus sign, and then I here have my email list, right? Boom. If you like, if you have a link in there you want to track, I'll use that. And I also use this one, resend email to unopened. It's kind of cool. 12 hours later, I just use a different subject line and it'll resend that email to people that didn't open it. And I'll usually get another like 7% of my list to open up the emails. Pretty cool. Then you just select review and send. If you want to schedule it for later, you can do that here as well. So let's talk about setting up your email, right? If you're starting from scratch, what do you need to do to set up your email? So you're going to go to settings. You're going to go to email services. This can be a little bit complicated, but what you're going to do is add a dedicated domain and IP, right? So you're going to select that and you're going to add your own domain. Okay, add domain. So let's say your domain name is freedomcreators.com. What you're going to want to do is create a subdomain. So lc.freedomcreators.com. You just add LC, you can add emails, it doesn't matter because this will automatically create a subdomain in your domain. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to click add and verify. What this is going to do is make sure that you have a reputation from your email sending domain, which will help you ultimately, it's going to help you end up in the proper place, not the spam, right? You don't want to end up in junk or spam. So what you want to do is go to click continue. It's going to set up your domain, retrieve the DNS records. It's going to do most of it for you, but then it's going to give you this fun stuff here. I would recommend watching the help video. Don't get overwhelmed if you've never seen this kind of stuff before, all these random codes type things. You just copy and paste into your, like if you use GoDaddy, you just log into GoDaddy and you'll just add these records to your domain. and this will automatically set up a subdomain. All right, so once that's done, you verify it. The worst thing you can do is start sending thousands of emails right away. It says here 2 to 4 weeks of sending, limit it to 100 emails a day type thing, and make sure those emails are getting sent to people that are most likely to open it. And that's going to create your reputation for the long run. Okay. So that the email gods know that your stuff is legit. So once again, go to settings, email services, click dedicated domain and IP, select add domain, and then create your own domain, subdomain. Okay. I'm going to delete this because it's not real. If you don't do this, then your emails are going to end up going to spam. So you need your own dedicated domain, which I already have mine. All right, next let's talk about automations and workflows. This is really the strength of GoHighLevel. This is where you start setting up your business with automations and really start streamlining things. Okay, so let's just go in and give you an example. So this is like my one I just created, an example for a pre-sale VSL opt-in, right? So that opt-in page, let's say you have that form, someone opts in for your lead magnet. This is what you want to do is you want to there's always a trigger, right? When you go in to create an automation, there's always a trigger. This is what sets off the cascade of events. Okay. So the trigger here is a form submitted. The form submitted is you select the form. Okay. And then whatever actions you want to happen, you can go ahead and select those actions, right? So you can add a tag. So now I want to make sure this person's tagged with prospect. Okay. So now I know this person's a prospect. You want to set up an internal notification. So I want to get notified. I want to send myself an email every time someone opts in, right? So you can put the subject line there, select the user that you want to send it to, from email, from name, and then right here, you would select the contacts so you know who exactly opted in. And you do that by selecting custom values, go to contact, full name, and you can grab that information there and just make sure to save it. Let's go ahead and look at another example. All right, in this example, we're running like Facebook ads. We have a Facebook lead form that was submitted, right? So we would select the trigger as Facebook lead form submitted. Page is boom, form is, and then you would select what the form is. Once again, you got to make sure everything's integrated within your settings, okay? And then you can have it assigned to a user, like in your pipeline, it'll be assigned to a specific person. Create an opportunity. This is one of the events, is create or update opportunity. You can add them to your pipeline here, right? You put them in stage 1, boom, opportunity, I leave that blank. Source, gym, Facebook ad, whatever source you want to identify in the pipeline. There, add a tag, and then you can add a wait 5 minutes, okay? Because this is important. What if someone opts in to your Facebook lead form and then they book a call, right? Once they book a call, the cool thing is you can remove them from this automation, right? Because this is a series of messages that go out throughout the week. Like, hey, are you still interested in this offer I have for you? Go ahead and book a call, right? But we don't want to keep sending them those messages via text. Saw you're interested. You got any questions about the program when they already booked a call, right? We don't want to do that. So we wait 2 days and it sends out more messages. This is how you maximize your ad spend, by the way. If you're spending money on ads, this is how you maximize it by sending emails. I would add emails in here as well. And you just click the plus sign and then you can search through all of the things you can do. Send email. Boom. So let me show you what happens with a book call. All right. So let's say someone books a call. Remove from workflow is the first one you want, right? So you're going to select remove from workflow. You're going to add that on the plus sign, and you're going to put that other workflow, the opt-in workflow that you want to get them removed from. So these are automations. You can set them up for pretty much any action, right? Let's say someone enters the information on your little chat widget. You can have that as a trigger, and then you can set up a whole bunch of text message and email follow-up to those people. So the opportunities are endless when it comes to workflows. You can select a recipe to give you ideas like abandoned cart if you're doing e-commerce, a lead nurture using chat GPT history. Well, that's pretty cool. So you can search through and create automations to your delight. All right, sites I already covered. Memberships, this is where you can create your portal, right? You can have your own little courses that you can make. You can have unlimited courses and products. So these are different products I've made in the past for my clients. This is kind of how it'll look. Pretty straightforward. I use School now for whatever reason, but you can still use this here. Boom. And it looks like a legit Kajabi style course, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, you would go to products. You can create various products here. Like I have a bunch of old ones that I've used. Create product, and you could actually import from Kajabi as well. So they make it super easy. You can set up your own community like School, right? If you want to create a group, community group like that, you can create your own community and it will look just like School. They pretty much copy what School does, which is fine. All right, this is how your community would look. This is not an in-depth video on this, but this is basically how it would look. Events, leaderboard, right? Very similar to School. Once again, everything is in one place. So that's in your communities group. That's under memberships. You can create your courses, your communities all in one place. I don't really use all of this other stuff, but under reputation, this is great, especially if you have a local business, to make sure you are getting consistent reviews every time you have interact with a customer, right? So this will monitor your GMB, Google My Business, and it will help you increase your reputation standing. Okay. All of this other stuff, reporting, you can connect to your Google ads, your Facebook ads. You'll be able to see all of the stats right here under one place. All this other stuff is additional that you don't need to pay any attention to. The last thing is really just under your settings, just setting up your business profile, going in here and adding all of the details to your email. So you're going to set up your business profile, then you're going to set up my profile, right? This is important to come in here and set up your calendars. Set up your calendar. What is it called? Here we go. Availability. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay. And then whatever, if you use Zoom or Google Meet, you would put the link in there and then set your availability. So this will be like your universal availability. I would set the times available that you're available there and then make sure you save that. You can integrate your calendar, like your Google Calendar here or your Outlook calendar here. So this is where you want to set that up, is under My Profile. You can create staff opportunities, right? You can add people in there. Then the next most important thing here is actually setting up calendars. I have a more in-depth video on this, but I will cover it now. You just go to create calendar. They have various options you can choose from. Class booking, this is like if you have a webinar or maybe a group training class, a fitness class that you want to allow multiple people to register, you would use this type. I use round robin for the most part. Like if you have multiple salespeople, you can use a round robin. All right. Name it sales. You can select the team members. So it's like, hey, I want all of the appointments to be evenly distributed between these three people. Boom. That's what you would do. Choose the duration, choose the availability. So then you would choose the availability for this calendar, but it's still going to work off the individual availability of each person that they set up in their My Profile. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. So if this person's only available on Mondays, even though this calendar is available Monday through Friday, it's only going to show Adam's availability on Monday. So it will choose Melissa and John to book those appointments, right? So hopefully that makes sense. That's really important that you go to your My Profile and set up your universal availability there. And so super simple as far as setting up the calendar. You would hit confirm and boom, now you have a calendar. This is what it looks like, is something like this. It's good. Just like Calendly, right? Super cool. This one's kind of ugly, actually. This is the old version. Let me show you the new version. Here we go. So this is more like it. A lot cleaner. People can select the time they want to book with you. Boom. You can even add a form here on your calendar to ask more questions, get more information from people booking calls with you. So once again, you got to go through here and kind of play with it. The last thing we'll look at is phone numbers. This is one of the most important things here because text message marketing is huge. You can go in here and add a phone number. All right. You can select the country and then filter. You can search by area code. If you want to like search up area code numbers, you would do that as the first part of the number. Cool. So like I want a 530 number. All right. And then you would just select the number and buy the number. Okay. Then you got to set up this lovely thing called A2P verified, which you just got to put in your business information, and that ensures that you're compliant and you have a legit phone number. And now you can start sending messages. All right. So hopefully this has been a helpful Go High Level tutorial. You kind of get an idea of how you can use this and implement it in your business to start saving money, time. Yes, there's a learning curve for everything. But once you dial it in and get it set up, it becomes like second nature. And if you want my bonuses, my thousands of dollars of bonuses, and you want to use my free trial link, that'll be in the description. And I'll put my email in the comments section so you can send me an email if you do use my link. That way I can get you your bonuses. Okay, that will be the pre-built landing page, the pre-built automations to really help start managing your leads from Instagram or from your ads, whatever it is. That'll be in my automations. All right, see you in the next video.